So, quick 3 facts. My name is Brigitte Roediger. I am from University of Stellenbosch, which is in South Africa. Something unique about my country is I got the opportunity to write a view from South Africa after the recent passing of Nelson Mandela, which you guys can read at the back of the Ambition magazine. So that was quite an interesting time to be in the country. And my job, I am a marketing manager of a wine farm back home, so I drink for a living, which is why I enjoyed the champagne last night. Yay. Okay, so I was announced as the second global ambassador of Stellenbosch, and part of the events that we did, there was 2 that worked really well for our school. The first one is called Morning Coffee Shops. So this is a monthly event that we have where we invite a guest speaker, we sit around a coffee shop talk, which is at a wine farm because that's just how we do things. And the idea is to have a conversation with people, engage. And at that event, I would always introduce myself, say what is AMBA, what is the connection, what is the role. And I find that was quite a good way to speak to people and get the message through what is AMBA. So that was an event that worked really well. Then came the Global Ambassador Challenge. So the challenge last year, what AMBA does is they email out a challenge, we all get to enter. And the challenge was to interview somebody, an alumni from your school, about leadership qualities, and they had to be from a social business. So I've interviewed Minion Hardy from Muizenberg, South Africa. I had to take time off of work to go and interview her, which was interesting with the employer, but anyways, it paid off. So what she does is she runs her own NGO, and she quit her job, actually, and decided she needed to give back to society. So one of the problems in South Africa is getting teens to read, specifically the underdeveloped or previously disadvantaged group. And the reason why they don't read is because the books out there is, the Sweet Valley High and Happy Couples, and, it's books that they can't relate to. It's not their background, it's not what they've been through, it's not the trouble, history that they have. So what she did was to go out and find people who experienced this kind of lifestyle and got them to write about it, and then she would publish it on a mobile app, which is an app not for a smartphone, because again, you've got to look at your target audience. So it was on something called Mixit, and then the black youth would go and read the stories on their cell phones. But because it was an app kind of device, then they got to comment back and write, yes, I agree with this, or I disagreed with that. And so she created a whole community of getting teens not only reading, but admitting and talking about their troubled past. So a very interesting person to meet. Minion Hardy is the one in the middle, and that's her team that works with her. She's also employed quite a unique flat structure in her company. So there's no hierarchy of people. They're all there together to get people to write content, to deliver it on their app, and then get teens to read it. So those are some of the people reading their books. And what she's managed to do with this app, now you've got to think South Africa, there's no Wi-Fi, limited Wi-Fi, people don't have smartphones, the connections are lost. That's the type of mindset. You're speaking to people who have been in abusive homes, their troubled life. And so she managed to, through this app, get people to talk about. And to have those kind of stats and that kind of business, for me, was quite something. I actually left the interview crying, and I got back to work, and then I was a little bit reprimanded for leaving work. But anyways, it paid off. That's the article I submitted. It paid off because I won. So I won yay! Winning the challenge meant I got the opportunity to go to Slovenia, to the Prime Summit. But this was the fun bit. Yay, that's the press release from my own school. And then I was in the Independent. And then Ventures. Then that's a local newspaper back at home. Biz Community is a marketing hub online. The Agenda magazine's also back at home. Cape Argus is a big newspaper. Financial Times. So, that kind of coverage. And it wasn't, I got a little coverage for myself, but what I was more excited about is that through all of that press release, I got to tell the story of what Minion Hardy is doing. and as an MBA to challenge not working for a multinational corporation, to be in entrepreneurship, to give back to community and that kind of thing. So I was quite pleased. So that's the conference I went to. It was the Prime Summit in Seaman. I will be honest, it was not the easiest conference that I have attended, because it was the deans of business schools and the CEOs of companies. And it was the two of them debating about what is the next generation of leadership and the students. So it's the academics in the business school. There's no students at this conference. So I'm giving honest feedback. It was not easy. And the first day, I sort of hang back and listen to what everyone is saying. And then I just thought, you know what? That's not what we're here for. We are global ambassadors. We are MBAs. So when the one gentleman posed a question, I took the microphone and I just gave the view of the student, because I was the only student that was there. And the attraction that it got, all of a sudden you had the CEOs listening to you, you had the deans of the business school. I mean, I was shaking because I was like, oh, really? And, you know, it's businessmen, and here you've got a young student. But I cracked that in the end and enjoyed the conference nonetheless. So that's what, you know, as global ambassadors, that's our role, is to shake the crowd and ruffle the feathers. And, you know, when they're having a conference and they're debating things that are not related to us as upcoming youth and changing the countries, is to be proud and speak out. What I did do at the conference was I had a video where I told my story of Minion Hardy and how things went. That video was taken after my 24-hour flight. I just had time to shower and change and get to the videography, but managed to do that. The clip is on Amber and it's on our business school as well, so I won't play it. And then networking. What better way to network than with wine? That's my job. So the gentleman to the left is Jonas Hertel. He's head of the Prime Summit, which is the Principles of Responsible Leadership Management. And we went out, and he's also very much wants to get more involved with Amber. He works with the MBA students. It's about giving back. And then to the right, that's Danica. She was head of the business school that we were at, and also Seaman. A strange name, but it's Central Eastern Europe Management Council. So yeah, I pretty much had a great time in Slovenia and represent what we do best, global ambassadors. That's my story.